Morning guys, just going to do some basic trolling around Lake Kuori. Still don't know how to pronounce that. Just two rods with, you can see the shelf there. So we'll be going around the perimeter of the lake. Just going to set up, close the engine off while we set the rods up. Just a couple of basic rods. Going to give a few new lures a try. I usually start off with 1 and 2 of the hypnotic. I find them to be the best that I do trolling, and day or night. Them are the ones I stick to. We'll see how we do today on these. Got a few. I usually use the steel leader, and I've done okay on it. But these are more. These are a bit more expensive, so I'm going to give these a try. I'll try the carbon first, and if we don't do anything, I'm going to drop back onto the basic steel one. And in the tips it says you're better without a, without a leader for some fish, and the trout might come into that category. The braid is pretty heavy line for what we're fishing for. There's some very, very strong fishing. I have hooked into some really good fish. So we'll start. This is where we'll start off, and if we have any problems or we don't start getting bites, we'll see if we can adjust our lure to, to catch. Okay. Usually put them out as far as I can, and then adjust accordingly. Always make sure you close. Usually put that on the other rod actually. Always make sure you give it a couple of turns on the reel just to make sure you've closed the bail arm over. Find out what we've got on there. That's not very good preparation. Okay, put that back. I have been doing a bit of overnight ledger feeder fishing and spinning on the last stream. Do seem to be struggling to speak to the stream recently. It sounds like I'm drugged or drunk. I do apologise. I am on painkillers with my back, and I think sometimes I may talk a little bit drowsy. I do apologise for that. Try to be as clear speaking as I can, but I end up mumbling. Okay, let's try again with rod 2. No reel on it. Sorry guys. Of course we need to disassemble the reel off the ledger rod. Unfortunately I'm very low on gear, and I'm swapping between 2 reels, between 4 rods or 3 rods sort of thing. Okay, we are set up now. I'm going to swap that for the gold. They did so well. I actually have 2 of each, so that I can fish 2 hypnotic 2s on one on one session. I can put this lure on 1 and 2, or I can also put the hypnotic 1 on both. I have 2 of each. That's how good I found the lures. So we'll see which one maybe we catch on both, hopefully. but usually conditions like cloudy, usually the silver seems to do a bit better, but we'll see. Okay, to troll, just press the letter J on the keyboard, and that'll get us going. We are trolling now. Look behind you. There's a slight bend in both rods. Both reels just check that one that we did close the bail on over. What we didn't do was set a friction brake. So I'll put that about 5, then we can hear it click when it goes. I have been pulling out of a few fish, so get the there we go, straight into a fish. If they're not too big, I will stop this one. That's how easy it is, guys. Untitled Chapter, and that was just setting the gear up. Some days can be as good as that, and some days you'll travel around for a long time without a bite. So just switch and change and give it a go. I just want to set the. I'll put this on 38. It's a little bit stronger drag. Okay. All right, and just press J again to continue on your journey. We just set off from here, and we just went out to the shelf. I pointed out the shelf to you. That's what we drove over, and we made a turn into this deeper water. What I'm going to do is make a few circuits. I usually go down this channel and then travel into around the what I call a pike basin, because I do well with pike around this area, and looks like I've managed to drive into the island. Okay, yeah, so I'll just get this on its way. I usually aim for that little boulder on the shore. You can tell you're trolling if you press the left or right. You can see it's rocking the boat and turning the boat. You know you're trolling when you can steer the boat. We have a rod on. We have something on. If they're not too big, I will keep the boat travelling and just bring them up. To keep the boat going straight, if you keep the rod high, it won't deviate the boat. It's not too big, it's over there on the surface now. Looks like I'm not sure actually. Okay, from the left hand Grayling, from the left hand rod, it seems awkward to go over another shelf, a deep shelf, well, a deep rock in the water there. Okay, guys, just had a little message. The missus needs me for 1 second. I'll be right back. We're into a fish on Rod 2. Don't tell the missus, I'll just land this fish and I'll be right back. This is only a tiny fish. Another grayling. Be right back, guys. Be about 2 minutes. Sorry about this. Two's okay, so be right back, guys. Okay, but okay, guys, back again. Sorry about that. And we'll continue our trolling. You can see, not sure if you can see, there's some deep rocks in the, makes the water shallow. It's like little mountains under the water, you know, coming up from the deep. Sorry for the Traversic people. Okay, we've made our first pass. We've come from the jetty to the 10 metre pool. We're actually travelled all the way down to this corner. We made a turn and we've gone along this sort of way. We're now heading back out towards the island. Now you've a choice of going through the deep Okay, we're heading up back towards the island now. Just keep a check on the rod tips. Just turn around and you'll notice them as they are at the moment, just in the trolling mode. Nothing on them yet. That rod one's a softer rod, so you will notice a bend in the rod just under the weight of the drag of the lure, you know. The second rod is a lot stiffer and it's more or less straight when trolling, so if you see any bend, tiny bend on the end of that tip, it'll be a fish. Oh, you're stuck. If you've noticed, we've got a rod on one now. Not too big. I can keep the boat moving. You can still steer the boat when it's travelling. I need to turn to the left a bit to go away from the island, so I don't hit the island while we're travelling. Can you see the deep shelf we've just gone over? Oh, sorry, what did I say? Shallow shelf. We'll use the landing net to land that one. And that's more or less the circuit that I do the majority of the time without going around the island on the deep water. We're going back up towards the 10 metre. We'll just turn a bit to take us through the 10 metre pool. You can see, I'm not sure, I don't think I can stand up while we're travelling, but if you see a bluish, you can just see the edge of the shelf of something at the side of the motor. That's the edge of, so we need to turn to our right to go over the 10 metre pool. So I'll just turn it around there and go back down. You see a darkening shadow on the right hand side of that. That's on clear days you can see the bottom or see underneath the water pretty clearly. We'll head back towards that boulder now and make a few passes that way. We have caught on the way down there. I can hear a rat shit, sounding like something we're going then. Red one's got into something. Let's just a bit better fish. I'll just stop the boat and we can drag towards the fish if it's too big. I really need to repair the rod, the reel. Sorry, I did repair the rod last time. Fortunately, I don't like the action that the game gives the rod of the bouncing. That bouncing I don't like. You won't do that in a real situation. Can't see where it is at the moment, but hopefully I'll be able to lift it up. Oh, there it is down there. It's not very big. I really need to improve the drag, repair the drag and gears of the reel. There we go. A little lake trip. And you saw where it took me drag out. I must check on that. You know, they don't seem too bad. You know, everything's up in the top section of the thing, but the friction brake's gone over the 15%. Okay, guys. I started the stream, everybody was asleep, and as with every normal day, people are waking up around and noises are coming into the room. So if I go quiet for a short while, I've muted the mic because of background noise. But what we'll do, we'll make a few passes now, more or less of the same thing. If the fish are not too big, you can hit shift and bring them in faster when you get the perch on like this. I think this is a lake trout. But you know, you don't have to stop the boat if they're not too big. You can just continue on your journey. You can still steer the boat when you're trolling. That's it really for the trolling side of it. If you don't do well, alter your location, change your route, you know, change the direction of what you know, whatever circuit you're doing of the lake. If you're not catching, change the circuit, go back to front, go the opposite way around, vary the way you cross different parts of the water. Anchor up, fish one of the pools. You know, all these things will make the difference of having a pretty average day to having an exceptional day. If you set your drag a bit lower, you can hear you can just face forward and wait till you hear the drag on the reels, so the friction brake on the reels, the clicking in. We have caught on both rods, so we just got a bite then, you see, as we were looking at it. Now I need to turn to the right as we're bringing this fish in, so I'm going to keep my eye on the fish, but also turn the boat around. And once I get in the right position, I'll just speed up the retrieve. Small grayling, you know, and they soon add up when you keep. Doesn't matter where you cast it, it'll catch up with you eventually, you know. Right, now aiming towards the back of the bay. Now you have a couple of choices. You can turn around and go back straight back up the longest length of the lake, or you can go into the bay of this, what I call like a pike bay here. Just go around the perimeter. It's shallow, but the lures stay in the deeper area and bounce over the shallow areas. There's a few, but you do catch in this area. You catch pike and everything. I've not had so many grayling in this area. Very shallow ledge there, if you can see it. Then it goes deeper again. The owner, Gene, on one of the question and answer streams that he was having with Lady of Games on her streams, he mentioned we may get, well, he mentioned that we're only actually using 30% of the game. That is, they've only released 30% of the game, so with another two-thirds of the game to come yet. One of the questions was, would we have varying speeds for trolling? And he said, for sure, you know. In later patches, and there'll be a lot of new things coming into play, and if that's one of the directions that people need, you know, people want, then they'll try to incorporate that in for people, right? Because that's only a small fish, but it's deviating the direction of the boat with still moving, so I'm actually counteracting that by just keep clicking on the, oh yeah, watch this big grayling. When I say I don't get any grayling up here. That's the usual case, isn't it? It's a pitch. Okay, cast that back in there. And so we have a continuation of trying to target fish while we're trolling. We've been around this edge now, and the rod one's gone into a fish again. This is a very soft rod, so this is not a big fish, you know. But if you hold the rod up, the direction of the I think rod 2's into a fish as well. Either that or my drag's going. We shouldn't have to stop, but I will do because I'm getting a bit. Let's bring the fish in. Yeah, for some reason my drag's. Yeah, how soft the drag is. I may be struggling bringing this fish in. How about that? It sounded like rod 2's just come off. Did you see that one? This feels like a better fish. He says, and it lifts it up. Now this is my weaker setup, so we might struggle a bit with this. I think we might have pulled out of the fish then, it felt like it. We didn't have a lot of drag on it, we didn't have a lot of resistance. Unless it's turned around, we've lost that fish. That does happen, and it happens a lot with these lures. And I didn't put the drag or the resistance on this rod very high. I find it does pull out of the fish a lot. Yeah, nothing there. That was a nice fish. But no, I think it's got something to do with your levels that you build your character up. See, them are the fish we need to be getting out to actually be improving our, well, firstly gain good money for ourselves to repair gear and increasing our abilities. When we increase our abilities, it gives us better chance to hook into trophy fishing and stuff like that. So unfortunately we missed that one, or we didn't miss it, it got off. The actual drag was on 28, I think, but it was still taking line, and the real speed was 34, and it seemed to pull out of the fish, so you know, it shouldn't be doing that really. I think that's part of something what's written in the game. If you're not a certain level, you're not holding your you're not holding your face right, let the fish get off, sort of thing. So more of the same, we carry on and try to catch more. It happens in real life too. Unfortunately, that day's gone already, and that alarm is the grill on for breakfast for the family. We've not caught so many guys, but I'm gonna leave it at that and start another stream once all the noise pipes down behind me. We'll park up and weigh the fish. We've not caught very many. We've had a couple of nice ones on, or we've had one nice one on, and we've lost a few fish, so that's much ado about nothing, and I'll probably delete this stream as there was a lot of interruptions and muted mic scenes, so I'll watch it back. If it's too shabby, I'll delete it. But we can weigh the fish in and see what's going on. We don't seem to be into anything at the moment. I'll bring the gear in now and get it ready for the next stream. Okay. And it's probably too dark for you to see the island and stuff. I can barely see it myself. Did change a few settings to get the trees a little bit more realistic. They look like blobs of paint on the early streams, so not been streaming long, about just over a week, and tried to improve the quality of the audio and microphone. I'll go weigh the fishing. We've not caught very many. Short stream, but let's see what we got in that short time. Not very much. Oh, we had a 7 silver, couple of that's a nice growler. So you can get, you know, if we'd have got the better fish out that we managed to lose, it would have been a better day still. 15 silver, it pays for another boat license, you know, so that's how I think. Okay. We need to do a little bit of repairing where we can. I think it's just an oiling of the reel with that one. I really do need to repair the friction again on my reel. It just seems to be damaging so fast. Maybe it's because I'm using braid on that rod. I will try and swap line on that and see if it increases the longevity of that reel, you know. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching, and anybody notice the luck level went up when I added alcohol to the in certain combinations. Adding alcohol when you've got full levels you know, and a bit of food, when it kicks the alcohol, it's the bloodstream, sometimes the luck level increases. So play about with that, because the only other way that I've found we can increase the luck value of our settings is catching the lucky fish, and they're not coming out too often. So play about with adding alcohol when you've got full levels. I think if you added the really expensive one, it would probably put half a bar of luck in, you know. So just adding this is not as strong alcohol as some of what you can get, so give it a try. Just see if that adds in, and then go up to see how much repairing needs doing. were 5.6. But this is where I'm not holding the fish. I'm sure that's the problem. I've only just repaired them. 72. I don't know whether that repairs it. It says lower. Yeah, we're a long way off repairing any of this, really. We're at 7.6. 27. I'm going to oil the reel. Catch you in a bit, guys. My mouse isn't working again. Catch you in half an hour or so. We didn't have any with that alcohol, so we'll leave the game open. I'll be deleting this this average stream shortly. But thanks for calling in, guys. I'll try and do a few more better quality streams than this one. Catch you later, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks, guys. See you later.